A very good morning to you all. You're watching World News, and I'm your host, Klaudia Czerwińska. Top diplomats and foreign ministers are gathering in Malta ahead of a major summit today as the region faces growing uncertainty. Our chief political reporter, Aaron Daman, is there. A very good morning, Aaron. So what's the agenda for today, and will Sergei Lavrov attend the meeting?
Good morning. Well, the 31st OSCE Ministerial Council meeting here in Malta is about to get underway, and delegates are arriving as we speak. Behind me, 57 delegations from all member states are expected here over the next 2 days. And of course, this was a council, a format, an organisation that was founded during the Cold War to increase dialogue between the East and the West, and that dialogue is more important than ever. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, he's expected here. As you say, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov as well. This would be his first visit to the EU since that invasion of Ukraine. And the Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrei Sybiha is also set to appear. So a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and it is not expected to be smooth sailing. In fact, we've been told by a senior government source from the Polish government that Radosław Sikorski will walk out once Mr. Lavrov starts speaking. And we can also reveal that the Czech Republic will do the same. Here is what the delegation's Chief Director of Security and the Multilateral Section told me in an exclusive interview late last night.
I can confirm from the Czech side that we don't welcome his presence here, and my minister will be demonstrating his attitude very visibly, because he will simply leave the room when the Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs will be supposed to take the floor. This is what we will do. At the same time, again, in international organization, it has been an unwritten rule that all the members, as long as you don't oust anybody, which is not the case with Russia, it's still a member of the OSCE, as long as you don't oust anybody, they are meant to still have a place at the table.
So watch this space. These next 2 days are set to be critical as partners and allies look for friends at a time where there is much at stake, and we'll be bringing you the latest here on TVP World from this Ministerial Council meeting all day.
Thank you so much. That was Aaron Daman reporting from Malta, and we will be getting more details in our next service. Russia's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova has had her visa revoked, barring her from entering Malta. She was meant to accompany Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to the Organization for Security and Cooperation Europe meeting. The reason behind her visa being revoked, according to Maltese Foreign Affairs Ministry, is because Zakharova, unlike her boss Lavrov, is under a travel ban. They also said that 3 countries raised objections to issuing a visa for Maria Zakharova. Russia's Foreign Ministry issued a statement in retaliation saying, quote, cancelling right before the event a visa that had been earlier issued by the Maltese chairpersonship to Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, allegedly due to circumstances beyond their control, was unprecedented. And now moving on to Georgia, as the situation in the country is becoming increasingly unstable. At the heart of the crisis is the Georgian government's decision to pause its EU accession talks until the end of 2028. Hence, the protests in the country have been going on since Thursday of last week and are becoming more and more violent. Don Arlith reports from Tbilisi.
Day 7 of the protests here in Tbilisi continue. Just a few days ago, there were tens of thousands of people on the streets. Last night, according to an official estimate, over 200,000 people came to the capital of Georgia to protest against this government. Of course, they want new elections, they want free and fair elections, they want a path to the European Union, and they're out here in huge numbers, peacefully showing the government that that is their demand. Now, if you look behind me, just over here, you see the police lining up. Soon they will crack down on this protest, as they have done night after night. We know that now over 300 people have been put in jail and detained. The Coalition for Change, which is one of the opposition parties here in Georgia. Well, one of their 4 leaders was arrested today by police without a warrant, without any justification for doing so. And when the police detained this leader, they knocked him out, actually unconscious, and took him away. The protests are likely to continue here in Georgia until their demands are met. Of course, the ruling Georgia Dream not wanting to do so, saying that they will squelch these protests until they're successful in doing so. Reporting from Tbilisi, Don Arleth, TVP World.
During TVP World's talks, guest Garvin Walsh spoke about the ongoing political situation in Georgia, the protests, and the potential outcome.
They have a tradition of street protests and other activism. There's certainly protests not just in Tbilisi, but also in many other Georgian cities, and this is pressing the security forces hard. The president, after all, is still on the Georgian, on the overall, with public opinion. So there's a extra parliamentary conflict going on, and we'll have to see whether the protesters manage to somehow put enough pressure on the Georgian parliament to accept, at least officially, that it should start returning to European negotiations.
Moving to France, Michel Barnier is set to become the shortest-serving French prime minister in modern history. He's expected to resign from his post on Friday after his government lost a vote of confidence. A parliamentary majority of far-left and far-right voted out Barnier's government after he attempted to use a constitutional article to pass austerity measures without parliamentary approval. France is facing a serious budget deficit. Marine Le Pen's far-right National Rally earlier rejected a proposed compromise. Barnier has only held the job since early September. He led a center-right minority government since the snap elections in June. The resignation of the cabinet will do little to ease the political crisis in France. According to France's constitution, no new parliamentary elections can be held before July of 2025. French President Emmanuel Macron is also facing calls to resign, with over 2 years left on his term. Romania's pro-EU parties have agreed to form a coalition to keep the country on a pro-EU and pro-NATO path. This news comes ahead of the second round of the presidential election, with right-wing populist candidate Călin Georgescu poised to win the vote. The coalition will be made up of Social Democratic Party, National Liberal Party, Save Romania Union, Hungarian Democratic Union of Romania, and the National Minorities Group. The move will give the coalition a solid majority in the next parliament. Representatives of the coalition parties also urged voters to cast their ballots for a president that will keep Romania on a pro-European path. Poland is uniquely positioned to ease the transatlantic tensions, said Piotr Serafin, the new EU budget commissioner, in his first public speech since assuming office. According to Serafin, the upcoming Polish presidency of the Council of the EU will be very beneficial to Brussels.
On the horizon, we see new disruptions and troubles. And you all know what I'm talking about. Russia's war of aggression in Ukraine, concerns about the unity of the West, and the weakening position of the European economy in the global race. Actually, and I think it was already said by Joanna, it may be the most difficult 6 months in decades.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has accepted the resignation of his defense minister. He's the first politician to leave his post since the short-lived martial law earlier this week. South Korea's defense minister, Kim Yong-yoon, was pressured to resign for allegedly advising the president to declare martial law. Reports say he also suggested bringing in the military in an effort to stop parliamentary blocking the measure. President Yoon surprised allies at home and abroad by declaring martial law on Tuesday. It was lifted a couple of hours later after Parliament voted against the president. Yoon will now face a vote of his impeachment on Friday. His own party has, however, indicated it would oppose his removal from office.
예, 언론에 나오는 걸 보고 이제.
And so this would be all the latest news for now. Thank you so much for joining us, and please stay tuned here on TVP World for more.